All right, welcome to part 3 of the Oklahoma Auburn film breakdown. DeadThree, appreciate your support and help with our channel here as we get it going. If you could do me a favor, if you could just right below this video, click that subscribe button, click a like button, and even leave a comment that you subscribe. That's really appreciated. I'll make sure to reach out to you. And thank you for this for subscribing to our channel. If you leave a comment in there that you did subscribe, so I really appreciate that. We're on part 3. Auburn's running away with this early. This ends up being about an 18-point game, I believe, 86 to 68, something like that, in terms of how this game ends up finishing out. Auburn's definitely on a run, getting good shots, making contested shots, running transition. And I'll tell you, the big kid, Kessler, I believe his name is now out of the game. I did just look, through Instagram. This guy's projected as, and there's so many of these mock drafts, right? But he's being projected as the #1 pick in the latest mock draft I saw from somebody reputable. It was him, it was Chet Holmgren, it was Paulo Banchero, it was some other folks, right? But he was #1. And this is really the first time. We'll do another video on him here shortly, or on Auburn and what they're doing. They're clearly playing well, 19-1. #1 in the nation, and I do like watching how Oklahoma plays, so that's why I chose this game. So we'll get going here, and we will try to keep these to about 14 or so minutes, and to keep these short so you can watch more of them and things like that. So here we are as they bring the ball up the floor. This is right after a media timeout in the 16-minute mark. There's some changes here, but really this game, the more I'm watching this game and the more I'm evaluating some of the, all these games that we're kind of watching, this idea of just a lot of ball screens, a lot of dribble handoff, a lot of ball screens, which means what, right? You better know how you're playing ball screen. Here's what we tell our kids and things that you need to consider. And maybe we overthink it, but it's just things that we think about. We don't teach all our young kids this stuff, but where are you on the floor? In terms of defending pick and roll, where are you on the floor? Who is receiving the ball screen? Who is setting the ball screen? How are you being played? Are they going over, under? Are they hard showing? Are they squeezing? Are they playing it loose? Is it in the corner? Is it on the wing? Is it in a slot? Is it in the top of the key? Like all this sort of stuff, right? And then you've got to figure out how you're rotating to it. So how you got to consider, we're playing side pick and roll like this. We're playing top pick and roll like this. We're playing pick and roll with, with number 10 this way. We're going to play it with #1 this way. Like there's a lot of that stuff. And yes, keep it simple. I know some coaches that, hey, we got one way we're playing pick and roll and that's all we work on. That's cool, right? Mastering the simple, mastering one way is always important. But anyway, here's pick and roll from on the 45 from the wing, but forcing it to the wing. So the pick and roll is not up to the middle channel, but to the outer channel. So, and is he going to pop? Is he going to roll? But here's what I do know, and like already, that I have not seen too much of from other teams, right? This idea of side pick and roll and then flooding the paint on the weak side. So look at these guys, not lane line, not 2 steps out, but double buried midline, like just like this, pointing, talking, head on a swivel, seeing ball man, like they're doing it right. Right. He played it loose. Look at this down in a stack. So here's what I think. And I could be absolutely wrong. This is a perspective. It's watching video with no sound. It's not seeing scouting report. It's not being in a huddle or any of this, but I'm willing to bet this. They're down 6 and not playing well, giving up a lot of contested shots. They've subbed people out, them being Oklahoma. And I'm willing to bet at that media timeout at 16 minutes, they got their tail chewed out. I'm willing to bet that Coach Mosier got them going. They've sat down 3 starters, not in a bad way, first media timeout, maybe they just sub, right? But this guy's ready. These guys are ready. They're playing pick and roll ready, right? So there's some energy here, right? He's supporting here, and we got 2 guys that fell down, right? So side pick and roll, not really a ball screen. He stays over the top right there. So yeah, they collapse, right? But man, I really like, I don't know these kids. I don't know scouting reports. So it's like, I like how this guy's like, he knows he got beat right here. He's beat, but his head's on a swivel. He loses, like that's the way to defend, defend back cut, but throws his hand, right? Throws his hand. Now he's back into some sort of denial. So clearly they came with some energy out of this timeout. Pick and roll, They get their feet stumbled a little bit, back cut, they're in. Like now they're this possession, they're the aggressor. They are the aggressor. So where's the energy, right? Porter's bringing it. You know, here's a couple things we say, man, we got to be great out of timeouts. 100%. We've got to be absolutely phenomenal on out of bound, coming out of timeouts. And we chart that, and I'm sure other folks do as well. So, you know, again, we're playing with what they're saying is the number one player in the draft, you know, and some of these mock drafts catches it at the elbow, faces up, changes it to pick and roll. So what's he going to do here? Right. So here's what I'm thinking, right? In terms of what I like to see, we've got a guy covering the nail because he's too far out. You know, unless this is Steph Curry and you're going to get up here and really body this guy, we're going to play nail elbow on the weak side against pick and roll here. We're not going to let, now what's this guy going to do? Is he going to roll it? Is he going to pop it? I don't know what he can do. Even though he's the number one player in the draft, I would have to think if you're the number one player in the draft, then you're a 5-tool player, right? So you can pick and pop and play. You can pick and roll and play. But if he pops, right? So there's a slow roll to the mid post. So that's what they wanted. They want him with the ball there. So here's the thing that you have to consider as a coach and as a player. And if you're looking at this from a defensive standpoint, as somebody trying to play, right? That ball goes mid post with a great player, with the best player on the floor. If he's number one pick in the draft, he's great. He's the best player. So I guess I would ask you, what do you see here? Right? Best player on the floor. So my question is this, I'm wondering who's going to drop. We call it a yo-yo. Right now, this guy's 70% away from the ball, 30% there. So he's on a 70-30 yo-yo, right? Does he need to be on a 30-70 yo-yo, right? Do we want it out of the great player's hand where we're in a position to double? So the yo-yo 70-30 here. The yo-yo is 80-20 here, right? You know what I mean? Like it's 100% away from the ball, right? So it's, 70% away, 80% away, 100% away. But look at this guy. Like he's face guarding, right? So this guy's ready to ball, right? So there it is, right? So, he's a great player. I'm not going to dismiss any of this, but it is a one dribble pickup without going anywhere, right? And he's just good enough to be able to do that, right? But what I like about number 5 is we call it a dig, right? Ball's in the post, vision, dropping. Now he's 50-50 on the yo-yo. There's the dig but he got him to pick it up. He didn't let him wheel. So maybe that dig was good enough just to get him to pick up, and then he recovers. Now we've got, I don't know if this is a good shot or not. If he's the number one pick in the draft and that's Paolo Banchero, who I watch more than this guy, you can say that's a great shot. Fade away. Got it. Right. And now we're talking, blockouts. I don't know. Like, what's the call here? Yep. So we're playing bully ball with 44. He's in there. Like, at least I just like tough guys. Right. And you never get after a guy for being tough and physical. You may get after him for being dirty, but after this happens a few times, maybe you talk to him, right? But here's the thing. This is what we teach our kids. I love bully ball. I love being the toughest guy in the gym, but I like my hands up. I like my shoulders to the baseline. I like controlling legs, right? Instead of forearms up and a pushing match. If the second these officials see that, where it's an arm bar and you're pushing, it's called. But if my hands are above my shoulders and I'm controlling him of all things with my legs and my elbows, we used to teach to try to keep elbows on their shoulder to stop them from jumping, but my hands are up. Nobody's going to call that, but they're going to call that, right? And a push under. So we get the stop, right? We came out of the timeout with some energy. We get the stop, and now we're moving on, right? So that's what Porter wanted, right? So now, can we get better action offensively? This 5 out, pass, dribble handoff, fake dribble handoff, boom, change it, contact. So this is what we're teaching our kids. I really like this action, and I like what Porter does a lot. So he brings it down, spin, change. I like the reversal, right? We're not reversing it. I like how they're in pat. Look at. He's even that far away and he's thinking about it, right? Fake dribble handoff, goes under, plays it loose, goes under, pass. Now look, ball was in the middle channel. If he does get beat, where's the help? So what Oklahoma did the possession before was, remember, I stopped it and said, man, look at these guys flooding the paint. Ball's over here. I don't know if he can guard him. He's a freshman. right? But he is supposed to be the #1 player in the draft or a top 5 player. So you'd hope that he could guard it, right? But here's what I like. It's a sweep and drive. It's not like sometimes you peek, sometimes you slow roll it, but sometimes you just sweep and drive and take it off your shoes, as some coaches say, right? But man, he's not in a position to help, right? But what I like what this guy does, and I don't know who it is right here, essentially on the second pound, there's like right there. I don't know if they call it, don't call it, but he creates the contact, right? And so the guy's good enough, long enough that he can get it. I like it. Like, how can you not like that? How can you not like, I think he should get the contact there and blow him up here to create that line, because you can actually see it. This is the difference of controlling right here. So I'm going to try to stop it, right? So we're going to slow this. So here it is, frame by frame. He puts it down, and hopefully you're able to see this. But you can see it there. There's no contact on the second pound, right? So his angle gets disrupted, right? But then he jumps in here. Man, he should have blew him up on the second pound, right? And created that. We have a phrase called own the line, right? So right here, he catches this ball. This is the phrase we use. There is a line right here, an imaginary line between ball and basket. And we need to own the line by the second pound. And you can see who's still on that line. Number 10 is Jabari Smith. He's on the line. He's owning the line. He's not owning the line. So when he tries to own the line on the last pound, it's too late. But that's just what we've seen elite guys do, right? So here comes 35. We're going to run an out of bounds play. Look, it looks like, right? I like Porter. I've listened to podcasts with him. And I like his energy. I like his leadership. I like his team building. I like how he's tough on kids, but with love, he really likes these kids, right? So here's the out of bounds. It's got energy. Like, it's a box set, change. And then what are we doing? Oh, I like it. I like this, right? Change. It looked like what we call America's play, like, where he's going to pin down and, but there's the change. So what's going to happen here is he's getting into the body. They're going to change it again. Nope. He's coming up from elbow. He's dribbling to a passing lane there. He's dribbling. So I'm stealing this play. Change it. Now dribble to the 45. And in doing so, bring 2 off a flare. This guy better get out of the way, right? We want a shot right here. So let's see what happens. So he fakes the screen. Look at him. He's pretending he is coming out. He is looking like he's going to get a screen or set a screen, but he's receiving it. Where's his man? So let's figure out where his man is. His man's with the headband. Oh, he's protecting on the ball. What he thinks might be a ball screen. He's protecting on it. I would clear this weak side out and bury people. He takes 2 steps. He takes 2 steps. Clear it out. So who we screening? Now, if he takes it, I hope my man's rolling, and I hope that we can get these guys out there. So we got big on small. They recovered. He ended up like all 3 of these guys switched. He was playing 35. He was playing the point. He was playing 2. Everybody switched. And I bet you they're all going to be, this is a mismatch, big on small. Coaches say, hey, don't worry too much about getting the ball into the post on big on small, small on big here, but big on small here. Let's drive the guy and see what they do. So there's the change. Now they want it in. This is the matchup they wanted. And I'm sure they drill on it, right? But how good are we? So he went short side, baseline side to try to get an angle to get that steal. The ball went in as he was doing it. It's an emergency. He's coming over. He might be on a drop. Everybody's coming, but we're not able to control the ball. Right. So but he gets it. So here's a lesson for all post players. That ball immediately goes to a shoulder. It does not, it goes to a shoulder. It goes shoulders. It goes to a shoulder with elbows out. To a shoulder with elbows out. So that doesn't happen. So, I see why they're #1. A couple things. One, I don't know how good 10 is, but if he's a top 5 kid, he's a top 5 kid. But I do know this. They play hard. They switch to a denial, they switch to a contest, they switch to a body, they switch with aggressiveness, right? And then they cover it up. And then right here, this guy's not competing. He's not saying, woe is me. He's not saying we switched and I'm on a big and I don't know how to play post defense and I'm not tough enough. He's like, hey, I'm going to show you and I'm going to rip it out and I'm going to double and help you out. And I'm going to stunt down here and get everything out. So they're balling, right? Like, there's a reason they're up 11-6. There's a reason, or 11-5. There's a reason why they're number one in the nation. This guy's been, he was put in to run this play right here. Porter puts him in, right? He's running his play. He put him in for a reason, to defend and to get this, right? He's running that flare. Watch him. Here comes the flare. There comes the slip. There comes the post. He recognizes it. And look, they fight. They fight. They fight. And now look, the big's got it. The big has it. So let's see what he does. Gives it to a point, wide, two bigs, no rim runner because okay. And then where's 10? 10 might be taken out, right? So now we set. So we've seen in part 1, part 2, that they like to run sets of 5. They got them, right? This is the stuff that I watch. And I could be wrong with this. I don't know how this play ends up, but I do know this. He's got him right here. So if he catches it clean, and I don't know what happens, and if we can pull this guy up, and if 35 doesn't jam down, if 35 takes 2 steps up with this guy out of position, he's got a bounce pass or throwing it right here on the air to this guy, throwing it on the air time. If this guy will shape up here and not shape up here, we've got a layup. Like, it's okay to post second hash. It's okay. You don't have to post block. You don't have to post. This is perfect. Seal his tail out and throw that ball here, right up here. You have a layup. Now, it all depends on what 35 does. So he doesn't seal it. And look, we had a layup. Listen, I like this stuff, and this is what we teach our guys. The seal's right there. I don't know who in the history of basketball started instructing kids that they've got to post up here. And that's where look at he does it. Watch. For all post players out here, he's open here, but watch, he takes 5 steps and ends up here out of position, and he has a layup. So now he's 2 feet outside the paint. We had a layup. Like we show our kids this. Stop, seal, free your hands, seal them out. This guy wins the battle because he catches it here and he's got a layup. So, but if any, like that stuff, I'm not saying that's irritating. I'm not saying, but like, do you see how he takes these chop steps? He's right here. Chop, 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 chop. Boom. Nothing. So now he's got to make a post move to score, right? We use a phrase, no post move needed. You're so good. You can seal in such a way that no post move is needed. Now he's got it. Hey, you better be a player. But here's what the ball goes in. They screen away, fill, and slip. He's diving. So there's like, this is what's going to happen, I think. Screen away. He can't slip because 35's there and he's diving. So it's a screen and pop and a fill. Let's see what they do. They switch it. They're late on the dribble and they don't get what they want, right? No, but they play it. So that guy, good. Now we're running. Look at how he owns the line. We're trying to work with our kids on this. There's always a line and you always need to own the line. So he gets it 1-2 and now he's in front. He's in front and he's getting on the line. We are starting to use the phrase line of recovery. There's a line of recovery here and he took it away from him. Now he's coming back, which is awesome. Like, this is how this should play out just on this freeze frame. He's taking the line of recovery away. He's running wide and he could run wider. He's coming back. You can tell automatically he's stopping. If 35 continues to run and we engage this guy by running harder, if this guy empties out and if this guy stays solid here, 35's got a layup. He's got a layup. There it is. He breaks it down. Keep running. Create a line. He cut off his line of recovery by being a great point guard. There's your run. The big fell. We are in a scramble offensive situation. There it is. Good. Love it. Love it. Now, it didn't play out exactly how I thought because right here you have him. So, but you can't pass on the same level or same plane, even though he's 1 step off. You've got to take it 1 more. Now you have it. That bounce right there is a dunk. But the reason the big fell was why. Watch the big. Now, the reason he fell is because he tripped over his own teammate. But he's late to it, and the line of recovery is taken away. It's a great cross. Man, it's a great feed. Man, if this guy were running harder. So watch my first videos of Duke. Watch Duke play, because look at this guy. And I'm not saying it's bad, like I'm just telling you what I see, right? Watch the first videos of Duke, because right here, Duke's at half court. On the first pound, they're at half court. Like, he's not running. He's not running. He's not running, right? And if he's here, it changes this possession. If he's here, then he's got an open three. We've got a layup. Like, it's not good enough. But we get it in, and he plays it slow. Great shot fake. Now we're at the line. We may not be at the line, but we got it out of bounds. No, it's on the shot. I'm sorry. Right? So listen, that's over a little over 14 minutes. We try to keep those in that world. Listen, there's a lot of great stuff happening here. I really like what Auburn's doing. I like how aggressive they are. I like how they switch and deny and how they body. I like how this guy was running the floor. There's a lot going on here. I really liked some things that they were doing with their out of bounds plays and how they defended it. But listen, do me a favor. If you could subscribe to this, leave me a comment that you subscribed, like these videos. That's all we're asking from this, is if you can do those things, that really helps us out. Listen, look for videos. We're trying to release 2 a day. Appreciate everybody watching and liking them. It really helps us out. Thank you.